Good morning. Welcome to the Planet Doug video podcast for this morning for, if I can believe my phone, Sunday, December 1st, 6:33 in the morning. And I say whether I can believe my phone or not because I'm not entirely sure about the time. I just flew from Malaysia to Indonesia, and then I just got all screwed up with the time change. And it's just kind of weird where lately I've been asking AI or the internet in general for confirmation about dates and times. And then the answer I get sometimes is wrong. So now I don't trust the internet anymore. So I was sitting here in this new hotel room. I'm staying at the Zest Hotel at the airport in Jakarta, Indonesia. And so I'm sitting here inside this room, and I've got three smartphones, and all three phones are telling me different times. So I don't really know which one is right anymore. Like, how do you confirm the time if you can't trust the internet? Anyway, I think it's 6:30 in the morning. Yeah, like I said, the internet has been wrong lately. I'll say, like, what is the day, date, and time in Jakarta right now? And then AI will actually will tell me it's yesterday or the next day. It'll give me the wrong date, which is really, really strange. And I'm doing a video podcast, which is, again, a brand new thing. I used to shoot behind the scenes videos like this on video. But then when I started up the Patreon, I started off with just typing my journal because why was I just typing it? Because that was just the easiest thing to do. I thought I would have a written journal, which is my old style, to wake up in the morning, have a cup of coffee, and you really, when you're writing, you're thinking more clearly, your thoughts are more organized. And I wanted it to feel like a journal. But then I realized for someone who bases a lot of their life on video, then people don't really want to read. People want at least to listen. And then I figured out that Patreon has an audio uploading feature, like automatic. You just record audio, upload the audio file to Patreon, and you're done. And that seemed really convenient. So I thought that's how I'm going to do my journal for Patreon. But then I thought through that as well. And I realized then that the only way people could listen to it would be on Patreon. They would have to go. The file is uploaded to Patreon, and that's the only place the file exists, and you have to play it and listen to it from there. So I thought, I'd rather upload it to a different platform, like upload it to YouTube, and yet you have a link to it from Patreon, and then the file lives on YouTube. So, but in order to do that, you have to turn the audio into a video file. So what I did was just upload, I imported the audio into a video editing program, and then I put a blank a static screen across the top as part of the video track. So that was my compromise, because if you do that, the file size is smaller. You're only recording audio, which means all you do is it's so much easier to do. You sit down, you got the microphone here on a little stick, and then you just start talking. And then you can walk around the room, you can go outside, you can do anything you want. Recording audio is a much faster, simpler thing to do. You don't have to mount a camera, you don't have to plug in anything, you don't have to worry about battery. And editing it is a lot quicker. So I enjoyed that. But anyway, since I'm here at the Zest Hotel, which is a very comfortable environment, a room that was booked for me by a mystery benefactor that I'll talk about more in a minute. So for Planet Doug, at the moment, I'm kind of living in the lap of luxury. I haven't been in a room like this for a long time. I mean, the Zest is a little bit of an older hotel, I think. It's not a brand new fancy resort or anything, and I don't think you're going to call it like a 5-star hotel, not even close, maybe not even a 4-star hotel, but it's a very, very solid 3-star. For me and my lifestyle, this is like 10-star. So I just finished taking a shower, and I'm accustomed to a lot more trouble when it comes to taking showers lately. My rooms, say in Sumatra and other places back in Port Dickson, they're all basically like bucket bath, cold water showers, and they take a lot more energy. And my rooms tend to be very small, And I noticed that when you're in a very small room, you physically become smaller. You're aware of your environment. You feel like you're caged a little bit, and you kind of pull your body in, and you're moving slowly because there's stuff all around you. You're running into things, you're tripping over things. There isn't a lot of room to move around. But then once you move into a real hotel room like this, which is very spacious and has furniture everywhere, I can really spread out and get organized and get comfortable. And then when you just get out of bed and go to the bathroom, you're not as tight, you're not as wound up. You just sort of get out of bed and it's just like, oh, all this space. And you just sort of walk to the bathroom because there's wide spaces to walk through. And then taking a shower and brushing your teeth and shaving goes by so much more quickly because in there they got a nice shower with a type of water control system I haven't seen for, I don't know, I want to say years. Like it's just a big silver lever that you push to the right, to the left, and to the right. And to the right is hot, to the left is cold, and it just adjusts very, very quickly. A lot of even if I've been in a place lately that might have a hot water heater, they tend to be electric, and then it takes forever to dial it in. And then you end up burning yourself or you're freezing cold. And I don't know, by the time you're ready to take a shower, it feels like half the day is over. But here, it's just sort of like you grab that lever, push it over to the right, and a massive amount of water just comes out of that shower head. I put my hand into the stream, and it was just hot instantly. And it was way too hot, so I dialed it back a little bit. Perfect. In you go. That huge amount of water pressure, you just get everything done so quickly. And the sink itself has hot water in the sink. So when you're shaving, that's really nice too, because you're rinsing your shaver in hot water, which keeps it nice and clean, and everything just zips by so fast. So I thought, since I'm in the middle of all of this comfort and luxury, I thought, well, why don't we try shooting video again? And I have to admit, because I haven't done it for a while, setting up a GoPro, I had to put a chair on the bed, so I've got my classic setup here with a chair in front of me. My legs are sticking out in front of me through the legs of the chair, and then I can clamp the GoPro onto the chair. But then you've got to, now you're dealing with batteries running out. When you're just recording with the microphone, the battery never runs out. It lasts for like 11 hours on its own. And then I have to attach the microphone, media mod on the GoPro mounting apparatus, and then you have to aim the camera, and you have to get it at a certain height. And yeah, it takes a lot longer, but I thought I'd do it this time. Once you do it one time, you get a little bit faster at it. And so here I am shooting a video podcast for today. And the other reason I thought it might be okay is to do with my mystery benefactor. I'm here in Jakarta. I'm at the Zest Hotel because in about an hour, I'm going downstairs to meet my mystery benefactor in person for the very first time. And he flew into Indonesia himself yesterday carrying a brand new laptop that he's going to give to me and donate to the Planet Doug community at large. So in theory, I'll be able to edit this video on a brand new laptop, which in theory will be much faster, easier, and quicker to export, which is a key one. With my old systems, editing is much, much slower, and exporting a video could take as long as 10 hours. Where the laptop has to be working for 10 hours to export the video. It was just very, very slow. And in theory, I mean, a full video like this video podcast, I think a real video editing laptop could export it in 10 minutes or something like that. So depending on the length and the resolution, I'm shooting this one in 1080p because I'm still trying to keep everything a little bit simple. This is not a 4K video. My babbling for a video podcast is not worthy of 4K at the moment. So anyway, that explains why I'm here. As I said, I've got like an hour here where I can talk, and then I'm heading downstairs for breakfast. This hotel provides breakfast. and I'll be meeting my mystery benefactor over breakfast. And the next time I come back into this room, I'll have a brand new laptop. It is an Asus TUF Advantage Gaming Edition A16 with a Ryzen 7 processor and a full size, like a discrete Ryzen GPU. So it's a powerful gaming computer, which means it's also a powerful editing laptop as well. It's got so many of the features that I'm looking for. All the ports, USB-C, USB-E, USB-A ports. It's bristling with ports. 4 terabyte SSD drive. The discrete GPU, as I mentioned, the most important thing. And full-sized keyboard, all of that. Long battery life, military grade standard for durability, powerful cooling fans. So very, very, very exciting to have a machine like that. When I was back in Kuala Lumpur last couple of days, I was doing some shopping and I saw I've never seen it in real life before, but I was in a computer store and they had the Asus A16, the TUF A16 there on display. So I got to take a close look at it, and it is quite the machine. Yeah, it should be quite interesting learning how to use this beast. I call it a beast because it is, like, the keyboard itself is a full keyboard with a regular keyboard and the number pad, which technically I don't think I really need the number pad, but a lot of these things, like you say, I don't need one of those. And then when you have one, it's like, whoa, wow, this is really, really useful. Because with the number pad, you also get duplicate keys. Like you get another delete key, another escape key, another enter key, or whatever. All those other keys are duplicated there. And because of the type of laptop this is, I didn't realize this, to be honest, but it has a whole bunch of shortcut keys. Maybe gamers use them, I'm not really sure. And so it's got a lot of function keys, a lot of shortcut keys, all kinds of fancy features. So I'm looking forward to checking it out. But that was kind of a surprise to me to see it in person. I was like, wow, that is an unusual style of a laptop for me. And really looking forward to it. So today's podcast is going to be all about my trip to get here, which was quite the experience, which no surprise on Planet Doug. It wasn't easy. So I was in Kuala Lumpur, as I said, and I booked the flight myself from KL to Jakarta. And I booked it to be as easy as possible. It was like leaving at 2 in the afternoon, which allowed me to hang out. It was leaving at 12. No, it was leaving at noon, arriving at 2. And these are the flights that were available. This one was the best. And I wanted to arrive here as early as possible because I wanted to enjoy this hotel room. So I wanted to arrive here at check-in time, and then I can check in right at 2 o'clock, and I'll have access to the luxuries of this room and enjoy myself for the whole afternoon and in the evening. It didn't turn out that way, and I'll explain why. But anyway, I woke up pretty early still in the morning, and then my friend KY picked me up. He came and got me at 8 in the morning because I didn't want to rush. I didn't want any time pressures. I wanted to get to the airport in Kuala Lumpur nice and early. He picked me up at 8. We went straight to the airport, and I was walking into the terminal at 9:17. He just dropped me off right at the door, and I'd never gone that way before. I've always taken the airport bus on my own, and you get dropped off down below on a lower floor, and you're kind of far away from the departures lounge. So then you have to walk all the way through the big shopping mall, and it's quite a long walk. And then you can't get up to the departure area with your trolley. I often have these awkward bags because I don't have my backpack with me on my recent trips. And I get a trolley, but then you have to get the trolley into an elevator, go up to the next floor, and then you roll into the departure area. It's a bit of a journey. But with KY dropping me off, he brought me right to the departure area because there's a drop-off spot right there. And it was kind of unfamiliar to me. I didn't even recognize it. I don't know, everything looked different to me. But anyway, he dropped me off, and I just rolled my cart in. I think they'd renovated the departure area. Everything looked a little bit different. And, but everything went really smoothly. I checked in online already, and I didn't have to do anything. I had my e-boarding pass on my phone. I had my e-visa for Indonesia ready to go. I had it on my phone. I had a paper copy of it as well. And then I just went to a luggage tag producer. Like, there's a machine where you can check in and get your luggage tags, and I didn't need to check in, so all I did was say, can I have my baggage tag? They scan the QR code on my phone, put it out, put it on my bag, dropped it off. And I've done it a few times now, so I'm more familiar with the system. And everything went really fast, and before I knew it, I was already good to go. I went up to the area where you go into immigration, and they just waved me through. Everybody else was having their bags weighed, because most people have large suitcases, like wheeled suitcases, but I just had my little knapsack, and the woman looked at that, so yeah, that's definitely under the 7-kilogram limit, so just walk on through. There was a breeze going through immigration. They introduced this system that I really like, where instead of having one big, long lineup for immigration, they divided it up. So you go into one big lineup, but then you separate into like 5 or 6 shorter lineups. And each immigration officer has their own dedicated lineup of like 5 people right in front of them. And I love this system. I remember the first time I encountered it, I wondered why nobody thought of this before. Because with the old system, with one lineup in front of, so there's one person waiting for the next available immigration officer, and they never see when that person is open, because there's like a bunch of them in front of you, one of them way off to the right, way off to the left, and you have to scan back and forth like you're a Terminator, trying to see when one of them becomes open, but they're really hard to see when they're far away. And they often have like a flashing light system, but they forget to use it, or you don't see it. And then people are always standing there. They're the next person, and there's like 2 immigration officers available, but they don't see them, and they're waiting and waiting, and people have to shout at them, there, go there, there's one there. Where? What are you saying? Oh, over there, look. And it's so slow and inefficient. This new system, just boom, 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 very, very fast, so much more efficient. So yeah, I was standing in a lineup right in front of an immigration dude. When it was my turn, I handed over my passport, and yeah, there was a little bit of a time there. He needed to see my boarding pass for some reasons. I've noticed people often hand over their passport, and if they have a paper boarding pass, they have it tucked in. They have their ticket and their boarding pass tucked into the passport, because they think, well, I'll hand over all my documents. And the immigration officer always takes the passport, flips it open, grabs the ticket and boarding pass, and just hands it back. Never even looks at it. Like, no, I don't need those. I just need your passport. That's what I'm used to. But now that I have an e-boarding pass, of course, there's nothing to stuff into the passport. And I just gave him my passport, and I think, okay, that's all he's going to need. But then he told me, oh, I need to see your boarding pass, boarding pass, boarding pass. Oh, okay, here's my boarding pass. And that happened in Indonesia as well. And in Indonesia, it took a long time because I couldn't hear the guy, and I couldn't understand him. I was like, what? Like, what are you asking for? And finally he said, oh, he needs to see my boarding pass. Oh, okay, here's my boarding pass. But other than that, smooth sailing. Went through immigration, went through customs, no issues at all. And I was there really early, and I decided to get a snack. I hadn't had breakfast or anything like that. And there's a McDonald's there, and I was going to go to McDonald's and get a very simple little snack, like a cheeseburger, a Coke, and fries. And I enjoy going to McDonald's because they have the machine you can order. You don't have to talk to anybody, and you can pay with touch and go eWallet. And then most McDonald's have table service as well, where you just take a number, so you don't have to have any human interaction, and you just order from the screen, go sit down at a table, and then you wait until the food is brought to your table. But at the airport, for some reason, it's not that simple. They actually say on the screen, Do you want table service? It's there as an option, but they don't have any numbers. So like when you choose table service, you're supposed to tell them what your number is, and then you bring the little tent-shaped placard. You enter that number onto the screen, and then you put it on your table so they can come find you. But at the airport, they say, would you like table service? But they don't provide any of these numbers. So your only option is to wait for counter pickup. And yesterday, for some reason, it was jammed. It was so crowded and confusing, and it was a bit annoying where the woman kept calling out the wrong numbers for some reason. She'd have there's a screen up above that said, now preparing, now serving. But the numbers there didn't make any sense at all. And then they would prepare a tray, and then they would call out 148, 148, 148. Nobody's coming to get it. No one's coming to get it. And they're like 148, and then they look, oh no, 143, 143. They kept getting the numbers wrong all the time. I don't know what was going on. It's like the woman was, or maybe all the women there were suffering from poor vision that day. They kept reading the wrong numbers, and they did with me as well. I waited a long time for my meal to get ready, and then I saw my meal. I'm pretty sure, okay, that looks like mine. And then she called out 140, 140, 140, 140, and I was like, oh, so 140 got the same meal I did. And then I'm looking, and nobody's coming, and she's getting annoyed. 140. I thought, that's probably mine. I got 147. So I went up to the counter and says, well, I've got 147. Is that what that? And I look, and on the tray, the number, the receipt said 147 quite clearly, but she kept shouting out 140. And I said, no, this is 147. And then she, oh yeah. They were having a hard day at McDonald's yesterday. But I got the meal, and I recognized my meal because it turned out I couldn't get a cheeseburger. There were no cheeseburgers on their McDonald's system. It was like, I like a nice, simple, dry, easy-to-eat burger rather than the classic Malaysian, gooey, saucy kind of burger, like a Ramly burger. And so that's why I went up to the screen looking, and there were no cheeseburgers. At the airport, I guess they just don't sell them. So I'm looking and looking and looking, and I was like, well, okay, now there's no cheeseburgers. What do I get? And there was chicken burgers and chicken sandwich and chicken this. And I have chicken all the time. I didn't really want a chicken burger now. But it seemed like the only beef option was something they called the double prosperity burger. And it was more like a elongated shape. It didn't look like a round burger, but that seemed to be the only beef option. So I went, okay, I'll have that. It was more expensive than whoa. Okay, there's another, wow, that could have been disastrous. I saw my GoPro going over, my grip was loosening, but I grabbed it, as you can see, but grabbing it, man, I guess I'm like a superhero, because I wanted to grab it with my right hand, but my coffee was in my right hand. Or maybe I was switching hands or something. Anyway, while my GoPro was going over, I switched coffee from my right hand to my left hand and grabbed the GoPro. And I didn't spill my coffee, and the GoPro didn't fall over. The chair here is a kind of rounded, so the grip I'm using, I didn't get a good grip, I guess. So give me a second here to get organized. Take advantage of this to have a few slurps of my coffee. The table is over here on the right. I think I have to, what can I do here? There we go. Yeah, video is a lot more complicated than audio only. So we'll see how I feel about this. There we go. Okay, that's better. I have this is kind of ironic, because when I was in KL, I bought a brand new Jaws Flex clamp. And one of the problems with the old one was that all the rubber had fallen off. So it didn't have a rubber grip anymore. And sometimes when I was in Sumatra and I attached it to a chair, like a plastic chair like this one, it would actually slip, whoosh, and my GoPro would smash to the ground. So I was very happy I got this brand new one. But this particular, I didn't grip it properly, and it's got a rounded surface. So even though it has brand new rubber, it still didn't get a very good grip, and it just kind of popped off there. But I grabbed it in time. But anyway, I ordered this double prosperity burger, and when my tray of food was prepared and I saw it on the tray, I went, man, that is a big sandwich. And I'm not usually that hungry first thing in the morning. I don't have a sharp appetite. So I thought, wow, okay. But anyway, when it was being prepared on the tray, it looked so unusual. Okay, that's probably the double prosperity burger. And so I knew that was my order. And then I said, oh, I think that's 147. And she said, hey, yeah, whatever, take it. That's not 140. Yeah, I've been doing that a lot lately. I've been correcting people a lot. It's like when I left from Jakarta, left from Sumatra, and then they wouldn't let me onto the ferry dock terminal building. They wouldn't let me through the gate because they kept asking for a boarding pass. Where's your boarding pass? Where's your boarding pass? And I kept giving them my boarding pass, and they'd hand it back to me. No, not that. We need your boarding pass. And then I figured out, no, what I needed to give them was a receipt to show I had paid the tax, the port tax, 95,000 rupiah. So there's a whole long story to do with that. And I went and got that, and then I handed it to him, and then I tried to correct him and tell him, for future reference, for you here doing your job, asking for the boarding pass. No, that's not a boarding pass. That's the wrong word in English. What you want is the port tax. That's why it was so confusing for me, because you were saying boarding pass, but that's not the boarding pass. This is the boarding pass. And I'm basically giving the guy an English lesson there at the dock at 5:30 in the morning, which is kind of ridiculous. And then the other day I was at Lauyat Plaza shopping for something. And going to Lauyat Plaza in Kuala Lumpur is a hit and miss affair. Customer service there is just abysmal. It's just such a terrible place to go shopping. But it's always really near my hotel. And sometimes I have good luck. But when I went there the other day, terrible experience. And it was so bad that at one of the stores, I spoke to the woman and I tried to teach her about customer service. I'm just a lunatic these days. It's like, why am I talking to this woman? But I did speak with her while I was there trying to do some shopping, and I just asked her, like, why? Well, why is it so terrible, the customer service here? Like, do you even know how horrible it is and how rude you've been behaving with me and how unfriendly you come across? There's another way to do this. And I basically told her that maybe she's not aware of it. That's what I'm thinking, that maybe she doesn't even know that there's another way to help a customer, that maybe these people have never gone to a store where the clerk actually is friendly, wants to help the customer, and actually engages them in a conversation to see what it is they want, what they need, and how they can help them, and say things like, oh, I see what you're looking for. No, we don't have that exactly what you're showing me, but we do have something else that might work. So let me show you this, and maybe, work with the customer to find the product that will help him in his life. What else are you going to do? You're a sales clerk. You're there all day anyway. This woman there was like 5 of them at this store, all sitting behind the counter, everyone sitting on a chair, just looking out into space, looking bored or staring at their phone. It's not like they were busy. It's not like helping a customer pulls them away from other important work. So I'm thinking, why be so miserable? Do the job you've been hired to do, and do it well. And I think the hours of the day will pass by more pleasurably if you actually get up off the chair and look the customer in the eyes and say, oh, well, welcome to our store. What are you looking for? What can I help you with? And listen to the customer. And I don't know. So I was trying to teach her about customer service, and she just laughed at me. She just laughed as, oh, foreigner. Another foreigner losing his mind. Because I can imagine a lot of foreigners like me getting a bit upset at Lauyat Plaza because they might come from a country where customer service is excellent, has very high standards, And then everybody tells them, oh, cheap prices, the best prices are at Loyat Plaza. So I think a lot of foreigners go there because everybody tells them to go there. If they're shopping for something electronic in KL, a lot of people will give you advice. Oh, you got to go to Loyat Plaza. Everyone thinks that's the best place to go for a foreigner, but it's the worst place to go. But I think a lot of foreigners go there because Malaysians tell them that's where you should go. It has a reputation for being foreigner friendly, I guess, but it's not. And then they go in there, and I think sometimes it's quite a shock to a lot of foreigners to find the customer service is so unwelcoming and unfriendly and unhelpful. Yeah, people don't want to spend a lot of time with you at Loyat Plaza. So I think the woman looked at me, and she may have encountered this before. So, okay, here's another foreigner, like, cuckoo, he's losing his mind. Let's all stand back and let the foreigner tell us about customer service. Yeah, I don't know why I was doing that. But anyway, I seem to be talking to people a lot these days and telling them things. And yeah, I guess it was, why did I go off on this tangent? Maybe the woman at McDonald's. I was like telling her, says, no, this is 147. It's not 140. Your call. I wanted her to acknowledge that she had made a mistake because she was getting annoyed going 140, 140, like where's 140? And then she looked at me with annoyance when I came up to get my meal, and I wanted to point out to her, well, it wasn't my mistake. I'm 147, and that's 147. You were reading out the wrong number. And I wanted, sorry, no, something, but she just, she went on to call out the next number, probably incorrectly. So that was my one hiccup in Kuala Lumpur at the airport, was a McDonald's. McDonald's let me down, which is a very rare occurrence. But anyway, so I sat down with and they let me down because they had no table service and no cheeseburgers. How can a McDonald's have no cheeseburgers on the menu? And there were no cheeseburgers. I know 50% of the people who might be listening to me babbling are going to think, wow, Doug probably just didn't see it. No. I looked carefully. No cheeseburgers. So I got the double prosperity burger. I didn't know what it was. It was a double beef prosperity burger. No clue what it was. And then when I got it, I wasn't very pleased with it at first because it was big and heavy, which is okay, but it was more food than I wanted. And then when I opened it up, it was just drowning in black pepper gravy and onions. So it was a beef burger, but with none of the classic McDonald's condiments. So it wasn't your normal, whatever, ketchup, mustard, cheese, mayonnaise or whatever, things like that. It was just drowning in black pepper gravy. And then when you tried to pick it up, the whole thing just sort of just melted and your hands just got covered in this spicy black pepper sauce. And then you're trying to eat it and it's just dripping all over the place. So it was a lot more work eating that burger than I thought. I like to just sort of settle in. I like a nice dry cheeseburger that you can pick up, and then when you put it back down, your hands are still, you can pick up your phone and still do things. But when you're eating this double prosperity burger, that's all you can do because you're just covered in black pepper sauce from that point forward. It's not like you're going to get out your tablet and do something, surf the internet. Getting on the phone and sending your friends a photo and a WhatsApp message while you're enjoying your prosperity burger. No, all your attention is focused on the double prosperity burger. Anyway, so that's what I had at McDonald's. And then getting on the flight, I timed things to be as late as possible. I do that all the time. The budget airlines in at the KLIA airport, KLIA 2. They have departure lounges. So you go to your departure gate, and then you have to go through and they scan you and you enter, but now you can't go out again because they've cleared you to enter. Now you're waiting to board the flight. And you want to do that early, but at the same time, I don't want to do that early because there's no bathrooms in there. The low budget area for the airport. I've never gone to the expensive airline area. Maybe, maybe their departure lounges are glorious, like my Zest hotel room, and they have private bathrooms and everything. But for AirAsia, yeah, there's no bathrooms in there. So if they announce, okay, the departure gate is open, you go straight through because you want to be there on time for boarding. And then maybe you wait for an hour if your flight gets delayed or whatever. And if you need to use a bathroom, you're stuck because there are no bathrooms. So what I do is I wait out in the hallway until the last minute, and then I see they're getting ready to open the gates to let people onto the plane. I wait until like right before boarding of the plane, and then I pop into the bathroom out in the hallways, use the bathroom, then I go in. I go straight. They scan me in. I go straight on the plane. So I try to time things very carefully. So that I did that this time, and then I hope people don't mind me babbling about this sort of stuff, but I'm very interested in systems and procedures and logic. And I see surprising things around the world all the time, and I'm always analyzing and wondering why is it this way, and why don't they do it this way, and why don't they change it? And I can see the system, and I can see where it breaks down, because 90% of the time the system breaks down. Do I have a message? I can't see anything on a phone without my glasses. Yes, I do have a message. Okay. So I'm going to cut this story short. I'm going to cut it short. I'm going to cut this short because my mystery benefactor is up and about, and he's in Jakarta only briefly. They're here for a one-night layover. So he's basically on his way back to the airport. So he's ready, and we're going to meet a bit earlier than we planned. So I'm going to shut this down right now and get ready and go down and meet my mystery benefactor. So I'll continue my story about the AirAsia boarding procedure when I come back. And I have many more stories about systems breaking down in the future. So yeah, the rest of my journey to get here was very tiring. It didn't really work out that well. But I'll be back after breakfast with a laptop, and I can show you the brand new laptop. All right, I'm back. I had breakfast with my Planet Doug supporter and mystery benefactor, a really wonderful, kind man, and his wife, and we had the hotel breakfast downstairs. And then we went up to his hotel room, and he had a whole care package for me, not just the laptop, but some other things as well. So I'm here to show you everything that came in this amazing care package while I enjoy my second cup of coffee. So, as I said, my mystery benefactor and his wife, I guess they were both my mystery benefactors, put together quite a collection of things for me. And they started off with presenting me with a colossal cookie. I mean, it's not often you come across things in life that deserve the word colossal. You might call this or that thing colossal, but it may not be. It's a pretty big word. Something has to be pretty big in order to justify. And man, I think there's two of them in here. The colossal cookie. I have never heard of such a thing in my life. Chocolate chip cookies, basically, but they're huge, absolutely huge. I mean, this would feed a family of 5 over a couple of days. I mean, the weight of it alone. So, colossal cookies. And I do have a bit of a sweet tooth. I don't indulge it all the time. If I did, I would weigh 400 pounds. But I do love my sweets. I don't tend to buy them for myself because I know my weakness, and I'll just eat all of it. I know, like, I've seen people who live in houses and have homes, and they'll keep all kinds of sweet things in the cupboard. So they have ice cream in the freezer, cookies in the cupboard, chocolates, things like that, and they're just there when they want something. But I can't do that because if there's a a liter of ice cream in the fridge, I'm eating it day one. I buy the liter of ice cream, I bring it home, I eat the whole liter. Like, I can't keep sweet things around me. I can't keep boxes of cookies in the cupboard because I will just eat all the cookies until they're all gone. So I only, if I ever feel like a sweet, like a vanilla Coke or a chocolate, well, it's pretty rare that I buy a chocolate bar, but anything like that, ice cream is a good example, then I just buy one small tub and then I eat that one little single serving and that's done. So as I said, I don't generally buy a lot of sweets for myself, so this is an amazing treat, the Colossal Cookie. And a bag of classic trail mix. Wellesley classic trail mix, low sodium, no preservatives. So all the good stuff in there, all the nuts and peanuts and raisins and dried fruit and whatever else goes into a trail mix. I have like, 42 ounces, a lot of trail mix. So some snacks to keep me well fed on the road. And then I had this interaction with my mystery benefactor before he came here because he noticed how much trouble I have with reading glasses. I generally wear 3 different pairs. I have 3 with me at all times. One set is for reading anything up close, another set is for a laptop, and then a third set for further distances. So I have 3 pairs of glasses and I wear them around my neck and I'm constantly changing them and I'm always breaking them. And they're not very high quality either because I just buy them at 7-Eleven or some random corner store. They have a display of reading glasses, +1 power, +2, +2.5, +3, and I just pick out the power that I need, and that's all I do. So my mystery benefactor, being a lot more intelligent than I am, he thought, well, why don't I help out this poor guy who doesn't seem able to take care of himself? And instead of him having 3 pairs of glasses that he's always breaking, why don't I give him 1 pair that has 3 different lenses built into it? And we went online. There's a company in the US called Foster Grants, the very well-known premium eyewear maker. And they sell reading glasses that they're not prescription, but they're based on the powers, like I said, +3, +2, +1, things like that, whatever your eyesight needs. And they put them together into one lens. And they also had this system where you could upload a picture of yourself, a photo of yourself, and then using AI or computer-powered photoshopping, they take all their various glasses and they put them on your face on the photograph so you can see what they look like on your face. And you don't even have to go to the store. So like normally, of course, you go to the store and you spend an hour there trying on all these glasses, and you always buy the wrong ones. I always do. Somehow or other, you just naturally end up buying the wrong ones. But in this case, I did all of this online, and my mystery benefactor and I communicated about this, and we chose the proper frames and the powers, and then he presented me with them. They were all nicely wrapped up in a, like Foster Grants case with bubble wrap and protection, all that kind of stuff. But I have them out now, and so these, oh man, what a difference. These are my new glasses. Wow. There are all these things in the world, I think, that can make my life a lot better, and somehow I never get around to taking advantage of them for myself. So in this case, I've got 3 different powers. Where is my phone? That was one of my phones, but hopefully that didn't break it. So the bottom third of these glasses is meant for looking at your smartphone. So now, just instinctively, right, I'm looking forward, but now I want to look down. Now I'm looking through reading glasses specifically designed for my smartphone. It's like, oh, I can look at those. And now I can look up. And now, for the first time ever, I can see my GoPro. And I can see the screen on the GoPro, the front-facing LCD screen. I can even see the battery level from here. I can see the time. I can see all the settings from here. Normally what I'm doing is either changing reading glasses all the time, or I am not wearing my reading glasses. Like right now, I can't see a thing. I can't see anything on the GoPro. I can't see anything here. So I need reading glasses. But normally I would put on my reading glasses, and the main ones I use are for sort of this sort of distance. And then I'd have to lean forward, and look at the GoPro really carefully to see everything, and then go back. And I'm constantly making adjustments. But with these glasses, I can see this perfectly. I can see that perfectly. And there's 1/3 distance. So it has 3 distances: close up, sort of laptop length, like computer screen distance, and then talking to another person distance. So even when I was sitting there chatting with my mystery benefactor, it was so cool because I didn't need to take my glasses off and on all the time. I could look at my phone, I could look at my GoPro, or I didn't have my GoPro with me, but I could look at my phone, look at something a little bit further away, and I could look at him, and everything was perfectly sharp. So these are not designed for distance though. So I want to look out the window, then I would take them off, and now I can see out the window because I only need them for up close. And yeah, but it's much, much sharper. Like my 7-Eleven reading glasses, even when they're at the right distance, everything is still kind of blurry and dim because they're not that sharp, they're not that clear, the glass. But these are very, very nice. So everything is suddenly the world basically has snapped into focus. So this was another gift from my mystery benefactor, and hopefully I take good care of them and I don't break them, because they are much nicer than any glasses I've ever owned before. So these are very nice. Colossal Cookie, trail mix glasses, and sandals, which came just in time because the sandals that I have now are falling apart. But he was in a shoe shop, and he wanted to present me with a new pair of sandals, and he saw these ones from Skechers, and he sent me a message and said, like, what do you think about this style? And I've looked at them in the past. I just never got them for myself, mainly because they're relatively expensive, and the style I wasn't that familiar. So these are Skechers hands-free slip-ins. So that's one advantage to them. They have a special heel at the back, almost like a shoehorn, and you step into it, and then your foot just slides into place. So they're designed to slip on hands-free, and so you don't have to bend over, and they're a hybrid. Do you see? Let me take this out, maybe it'll be clearer. These are you can see that there's a holes all the way through it. So they're sandals in the sense of having all these openings, but they also have closed toe, which is very, very nice. I think recently I've been wearing, I always wear normal sandals, and I've been tripping and falling because of them, because the toe part gets longer and longer. The more you walk around in them, they kind of flatten out and stretch, and then they get very bendy. And then you're hiking through the woods, and the toe of the sandal, the sole will hook on something, and I end up tripping and falling over. And I just happened to me recently in Tanjung Balai. So I kept thinking, this is just a disaster waiting to happen. And this should fix that because it has the closed toe, and then it has this amazing design. I tried them on in the room there, and they are a perfect fit, absolutely perfect. I was a bit nervous about that because we were doing all of this long distance communicating, and he asked me, well, what size do you wear? And I wear generally a size 10, but it depends on the country that I'm in. Sizes can be very different. And then he said, well, do you like regular or wide? And I went for regular because I don't think I have particularly wide feet, but in general, I usually prefer things that are bigger, like bigger t-shirts that are loose, bigger pants that are loose. I like everything to be loose. I get uncomfortable when things are too tight. So I was really worried that I gave him the wrong information, and I should have gone for the wide. So I was really worried about that, but perfect fit. My foot just went straight into them, and absolutely perfect fit in terms of the width, in terms of the length, the toe, everything. And I guess I didn't realize this, but these ones, it also says Skechers relaxed fit. So I think that's the key here, that I like a relaxed fit. I don't like things to be tight and narrow. But there they are, beautiful tread on the bottom. When I wear regular shoes, I get uncomfortable. My feet get really hot. I don't like that. I like sandals, but sandals are a little bit dangerous for my lifestyle. So I think this is a perfect and also easily the nicest footwear I've owned probably in my entire life, to be honest. So that is amazing. There's one. And there's the other. Brand new and coming out of the box. Is that there? Yeah, there we are. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. So, yeah, very, very exciting. These are probably save my neck in more ways than one. And the last thing, and the most interesting thing, and this could be a bit of an adventure and hopefully a long-term relationship, because my mystery benefactor showed up with a laptop. Check that out. This is an Asus Tough gaming laptop, the A16 Advantage Edition. Yeah, it is something else. We communicated back and forth online about what would be the ideal laptop, and I'm a little bit concerned, to be honest, that I may have made a mistake and gone for something that's, when I was looking at the weight online, it seemed okay how much it weighed, and compared to other laptops that I've had, heavier than anything I've had before, but I thought it was still within the range. But once you put the whole package together, it's a little bit heavy. And I opened it in the room, and when my mystery benefactor presented it to me, look at that. Amazing. And the whole package in the box felt heavier than I anticipated. So I'm a little bit concerned about that, but we shall see. Part of it is that the power brick, I guess it requires a lot of power to run a laptop like this. So the power brick is a little bit of a beast. So that adds some weight to the overall package. And of course, the box, even the box is heavy. So you put it all together, it kind of surprised me at its weight. But hopefully the advantages of a computer like this will win out in the end. And carrying around, an extra 2 pounds of laptop in exchange for all the benefits that you get with a laptop like this. Hopefully that all works out. So yeah, I haven't even opened this up yet. I saw one of these in Kuala Lumpur, as I said, and it just looked amazing. So yeah, there it is. The Asus A16. So it's a 16-inch screen, 16 by 10. And as I said, the Asus Tough Gaming Edition, which, wow, okay. What a beast. Nice. Nice. So, okay. Yeah, I'm not going to go over all the specs right now. I'll probably talk about this laptop quite a bit, but I mean, it has a lot of power. Ryzen 7 CPU, as I said, Ryzen GPU, 90% screen to body ratio, high performance DDR RAM, 84 blade Arctic flow, 4 exhaust vents and fans, lightning fast IPS level display. I mean, it is amazing. And yeah, all I really need to do, to be honest, in order to be happy with the weight is get rid of some other stuff. Like on my bicycle right now, for example, I've got certain things on the bike that I don't absolutely need, and I can just get rid of those things. Like if I could have gone for an ultra portable laptop. We kind of looked in that direction, but they suddenly get like twice as expensive, and you lose a lot of things when you go ultra portable. And like heat, they can overheat, they're not as durable, all that kind of thing. So maybe if maybe the difference between this laptop and an ultra portable, it's half the price of an ultra portable maybe, and 2 pounds heavier maybe. But in my backpack, I can easily get rid of 2 pounds of other stuff that I don't need as often. For example, I carry around my own mosquito net, which weighs 1 pound. And I haven't used it for a long, long time because I've been staying in hotels these days that don't have a mosquito problem. And I have a tent anyway with my camping gear. So, I can get rid of my mosquito net. Okay, that's 1 pound I've lost. And if I have to have 2 extra pounds on my bike right now, I've got a front rack and a rear rack. And the front rack, I don't even use it. I don't even need it. And it weighs 2.5 pounds. So I could get rid of the front rack, and then the total overall weight of my rig makes up for the extra 2 pounds of this laptop. So anyway, I'm just trying to psych myself up to feel good about the extra weight of this laptop. And I think I'm doing a pretty good job of it. But once I power this thing on and start using it for real and appreciating all of its capabilities, yeah, one more look. Full-sized keyboard with a number pad, beautiful touchpad, long battery life. I think I mentioned all this before. But USB 4, high-speed USB ports. So on this side, there's 2 USB-C ports, 1 USB-A port, and one of them is a high-speed USB 4, which is like lightning fast. And on this side is another USB-A port, and on and on and on. It's basically got everything. Whatever you might want on a laptop, it has it. So, yeah, I'm going to take several days. I've got 1 day here, and I booked a room in Medan for 2 nights. I may even end up extending that because I really want to take my time just oohing and awing over this beast. Wow. I'm loving it already. I'm falling in love with this. Yeah. It feels so good sitting on my lap right now. Keyboard feels nice. Beautiful. And having an extra, like the number pad here, it comes with like its own enter key. So you have you duplicate a bunch of keys and has all these shortcut keys up there. Okay, no, I can handle that weight. I think the surprising part of it comes with the power brick. It just sort of, it adds another 1.5 pounds, maybe. I don't know. That's pretty heavy. But the laptop itself, yeah, I'm already used to it. Yeah. Yeah, as I said, it has a 4 terabyte SSD drive, like has 2 drives. Each one is 2 terabyte, so 2 terabyte, 2 terabyte, 16 gigabytes of RAM. The GPU has 8 gigabytes of RAM built into it. So if you ever hear me say, my laptop can't edit 4K video, well, it's a video from before this laptop. This one will be able to handle 4K video, 8K video, whatever you want to throw at it. So look at that. Amazing. Amazing. I just want to run my hands over it. That is incredible. It's got a little bit of that gaming computer vibe, that hardcore gamer look to it, but not entirely. Like if you look at the Asus Nitro, which I think is a pure gaming laptop, it has that gaming laptop look. But this one is sort of a hybrid, part gaming, part editing video. And it wouldn't look out of place in an office setting. Elegant, dark black. And of course the numbers, like the keypad lights up. They all have little lights inside them, and you can change the settings, how bright or dark, the color of the lights. You can make the lights flash. You can do all those sorts of things. So they're not backlit. I don't know what you call that. I've never had a laptop that could do that before, but the letters light up. So even though it's dark black, as you see, you can't see the lettering probably, but when you're using it, they actually light up and you can see everything quite clearly. Man, it feels durable. Tough. TUF, right? Military drop power. All right, that is, as I said, when I picked up the box, I had a little momentary, I don't know, it might be too heavy, but just holding on to it, what a beautiful, beautiful machine. Look at that. Okay, well, there's going to be a lot more stories about this in the, hopefully, the days, weeks, months, years to come, however long this is a part of my life, whether traveling or staying in one place. Because of the weight of it, I think it's a little bit more of a staying in one place laptop, but if you're willing to carry a heavy backpack, which I'm okay with that, it can also be a traveling laptop as long as you're serious about what you're doing. Man, that is amazing. Okay, trying to be very careful. I find with everything in life, the first minute or two, the first hour or two that you have something are the most dangerous times, where you might accidentally drop something or break it, or I'm trying very hard not to do anything like that. So I'm going to put it back inside its box, and I'm probably going to take it to Madan inside the box. Keep the box as long as possible. Maybe bring it all the way back to Tanjung Balai. Tough gaming. Get tough. Gaming tough. Or in my case, YouTube tough. So let me set this over here. It survived. No problem. And this smartphone is important for the next part of my story. Well, not entirely. The next part is I was telling the story about the AirAsia boarding system when I stopped telling my story about my trip. And I was saying that 90% of the systems in the world fail. And they fail sometimes because the system is poor, but quite often they fail because people are dumb. Like individual persons can be intelligent, but people in a group are really dumb, and they don't follow the system, or they don't understand the system, or, and this is often the case, they're not aware of the system. Like a company will have a system and they've designed a good one with good intentions, but then where they fail, they don't communicate that system to their customers. And I find that's what happens with airplane boarding. And this has been going on for years. This is not a new thing. But of course, AirAsia has zones. When you book a seat on the plane, based on your seat number and whether you get, premium or economy, whatever, how much you pay for your ticket, you sit in different parts of the plane. So you got zone 1, zone 2, zone 3. And so as to get people on the plane as efficiently as possible, they load each zone separately. So when you buy your ticket, you can see, okay, you are in zone 2. Please wait for your zone to be called. All well and good so far. But of course, in the departure gate, they just say, okay, we're now boarding zone 1. Nobody hears zone 1. Most people don't even know that there are zones. So all they hear is boarding. Everybody jumps up and rushes to the front to be the first ones on the plane. So now the poor woman who works for AirAsia, all these people are coming up to her showing their boarding pass. They're like, no, you're zone 2. You have to wait. Zone 3, zone 2. Only zone 1. Only zone number 1, satu, zone 1 only, and they can shout that as many times as they want. Nobody's going to hear them. Nobody's going to pay attention to them. And I was busy watching this because I was following the system. And this is where it breaks down, I think, because when you go into the departure area, there's one of those barriers made of cloth and the poles. I can't remember the name of that system. But anyway, it's how you control lineups. And over here, there's a sign that says zone 3, line up here, zone 2, line up here, and zone 1, line up here. And that's all very well intentioned, but none of the guests pay attention to that. I did. I knew I was in zone 2, so I went up to the front right at boarding time, and I stood at the front at zone 2. So I'm waiting in the zone 2 lineup. Zone 1 is over here, zone 3 is over here. But where AirAsia falls apart is they don't actually create a physical lineup for each zone. They just put a sign at the front. This is zone 1, zone 2, zone 3. And then they let everybody through the zone 1 section. So like what they do is they open the zone 1 section, but then rather than closing it and then opening the zone 2 section, they let everybody through the zone 1 section, but they try to do it one at a time. So now the whole crowd rushes there, and then she's telling people, no, zone 2, you have to wait. Zone 3, you have to wait. But then everybody just stands in front of the zone 1 gate because there is no clear indication that there is a zone 2 gate or a zone 3 gate, right? So they cause their own problems. So this guy comes up and he tries to go through, and the woman looks at his ticket. No. And you can tell how frustrated they get with people because we're so dumb. And she says to the guy, very quickly, zone 3, no, zone 3, zone 3. But he doesn't know about the zones, this guy, this passenger. I don't know how he can live to be that old and be in the prime of life and not be aware of zones on airplanes and boarding one zone at a time. Everybody should know about it. But it seems like most people in the world either don't even know about it or just choose to ignore it. But anyway, so this guy, all he knows is, I can't go in. And then he just stands there waiting, but he's blocking everybody behind him. All the zone 1 people can't get past him because he's just standing there. He doesn't know what to do. Anyway, the whole thing is just kind of chaotic. And then finally the woman says, no, you got to move out of the way, move out of the way. But he only moves like half a foot out of the way because he doesn't want to give up his spot in line. He thinks he's at the front of the line. He doesn't know that he's zone 3. Like all the zone 1 people are going to go first. The priority people go first. Then all the people in wheelchairs, the medical conditions, people with young children, on and on, all the special people go. Then the zone 1, then zone 2, then he can finally go in zone 3. But he doesn't even know he has to wait that long. So anyway, it's just a big confusing mess boarding the plane. And I look at that and I can think of a couple of things immediately to do to change it. You have to make a physical lineup, a separate lineup for zone 3, zone 2, zone 1. You can't just put a sign up at the front. Everybody's just going to go to the open gate. Anyway. But they also have to do something else on the ticket, because it does say zone 2 on my ticket, but you really have to look for it. I mean, if they're really serious about this system, you have to implement the system, and then you have to tell people about the system. And people are idiots. We are all idiots. We need to be told 3 times at least, and we need to be hit over the head. So you got to put on the ticket a giant zone 2, like a huge red stamp. You can't just put it in tiny letters across the column. Nobody's going to pay any attention to it. Anyway, long story for a typical pet peeve of mine. The flight was fine. I got a window seat, and I chose the window seat deliberately because I like to look out the window. And I wasn't taking video of the journey as a journey, but I did put my GoPro out from time to time, and I filmed some of the clouds and the takeoff and the landing and things like that. And I was recording a relive video on my phone. And so I was taking pictures from time to time for relive. And one thing I noticed recently is that on relive, it tells you your speed because it's tracking you with GPS, and it will tell you how fast you're going. And according to relive, the plane was going at between 800 and 850 kilometers per hour. And I think it also told me the altitude, but I'm not entirely sure about that. But yeah, 800 to 850. And then when we came into the airport for landing, it dropped down to 350. So here's a screenshot from Relive, the app that I was using. There we go. And then down at the bottom, I don't know if it comes across, but it says 801, I think, kilometers per hour. Yeah, 802. And then I did it one other time, and then the speed was, I think, 850. Yeah, so there's another one. We're getting very close to Jakarta right there. And down at the bottom, it says 853 kilometers an hour. And I noticed as we were landing, we were doing about 350. But yeah, I love flying. Flying is so much fun. I'm still astonished that we can do it, that airplanes exist. Just amazes me. But a lot of it you don't really appreciate because you're so high up in the air. You're not aware of how fast you're going. Like even when we landed, it feels like you're going really, really slow, right? You look out the window and it looks like the plane is hovering over the land. It's like, how in the world can this thing stay airborne going so slow? But then when you actually touch down, this airport in Jakarta is right beside a highway. So there's a highway running parallel to the landing field, landing strip. So you could look to the side and there we are landing, feeling like we're going super slow, but we were traveling twice as fast as any of the vehicles on the highway. So there's the cars driving along, and we come down and we're landing, we're like blasting right past them. So like, oh, okay. Even as we're landing, we're still doing 200 kilometers an hour sort of thing. So it's pretty amazing. Flying is an amazing thing. It really is. So, yeah, little details of the flight, not much to say. I ordered a meal, so I got my Uncle Ben's chicken rice, but I didn't eat it on the plane for 2 reasons. One, I had the Prosperity, the double, what was it called? The double beef Prosperity Blessings bonus burger, whatever that thing was I had at McDonald's. I had trouble finishing it because this was early in the morning and I'm not ready for a big meal like that. I didn't realize how big it was, but man, I ate the whole thing, but I was full. So I already planned ahead and I thought, okay, when I get my chicken rice on the plane, I'm just going to put it in my knapsack and I'm just going to take it with me. And it was going to be my dinner here at the hotel. So I didn't eat my meal on the plane. But I really wanted a cup of coffee. And on other AirAsia flights, when I order the Uncle Ben's, no, it's Uncle Ben's, it's Uncle somebody's chicken rice, the AirAsia version of Uncle Ben's, or Uncle Chen, I don't know what it was. I think in another video I called it Uncle Ben's, because that's a very common instant chicken dinner from North America. I'm familiar with Uncle Ben's, but this is something different. But anyway, chicken rice. And then when I got my chicken rice, they gave me a cup of coffee. And man, I love that cup of coffee. Pure luxury for me, sitting on an airplane and a very pleasant young man or a pleasant young woman hands me a hot cup of good coffee. And I can sit there looking out the window, looking out over the ocean, over the clouds, and just sipping on a hot cup of coffee. Oh, I literally... I have tears in my eyes right now as I'm just saying that, because it brings so much happiness to my life. Just to sit, like looking out a train window, you're on a train, moving, looking out the window, drinking a cup of coffee. To me, that's mainline pleasure. It's like the most pleasure you can experience on this planet for me. And this goes all the way back to my childhood, back to my teenage years. Even going to university, I would take a train back and forth from my hometown to my university town. And I would look forward to it like I was looking forward to paradise. It's like, oh, tomorrow I'm going to be on the train. The clickety-clack sound of the train, rocking from side to side, sitting in my seat, looking out the window, watching the world go by, and then sipping on a hot cup of coffee. Pure, there's nothing better than that. But this time, I got my chicken rice, but there was no cup of coffee. So I thought, no, where's my coffee? And I thought, I guess it didn't come with the meal this time, and I wanted to get one. So I said to the guys, like, could I get a cup of coffee? But apparently that was the food cart, and there was another cart that was the drinks cart, and he indicated no, that you get drinks from them. So I was waiting to get my cup of coffee, and then another drinks cart came in, and for the longest time they were like 15 feet ahead of me in the aisle, and he was making drink after drink after drink after drink, and then giving it to all. For some reason, everybody in that area ordered some sort of a fancy drink, and he was mixing up like he was a bartender, and he was handing out hot and cold drinks to all these people. And I kept waiting for him to come down to where my seat was. I figured he'd finish with that section, pull the cart back, stop, and he would remember me. Oh yeah, dude, coffee dude. And then he would turn to me and, oh, coffee? Yes, please, coffee. And I would have to pay for it, but I had ringgit left in my wallet, and I had rupiah already. So I was waiting. He finished serving all the drinks, and then he started pulling the cart, and then he just went zoop all the way to the back, and he was gone. Just went right by me, never stopped again. So he served drinks to this one area, but nobody else was able to order a drink, and I don't know why. So I was a little bit disappointed about that. But it might have been timing, because it was a 2-hour flight. You basically have just enough time to get up to altitude, serve meals, and then you're on your way down already. It happens so fast. So maybe because so many people ordered drinks already, the drinks time expired. So he was basically, okay, we're done. We didn't get to everybody, but I could already feel the plane was descending a little bit. You got that you could feel it. It's like just not a lot, but just I thought, oh, okay, we're probably going down already. So I never did get my airplane coffee, but I'm making up for it now. The theme of organization and systems and how they fail really continued when I landed in Jakarta. And yeah, a lot happened. Before I flew out of Malaysia, my friend Daryl told me that when he went to Jakarta, he filled out an online customs form, like a digital customs form, and he sent me to the link to the online form you had to fill out, and there was a health form connected to some kind of monkeypox outbreak. I thought maybe it was a holdover from the previous pandemic, but apparently this is part of monkeypox. I don't know if that's a worldwide concern, but he also sent me the link to that. So I filled out the customs form online, and I remember that actually from before, but when you take the ferry, I've been going back and forth by boat, and when you take the boat, they don't use that for whatever reason. You still have to fill out a piece of paper. They hand you a customs card, and you write everything by hand, and then you hand it over to someone when you get off the boat. So I wasn't thinking in terms of the digital customs thing, but it is very real. And when we landed in Jakarta at the airport, there were signs everywhere, and they were telling us, okay, you have no choice in the matter. You must do the online digital customs declaration so that you get a QR code, and then they scan the QR code on your way out. And that's the only way you're getting out of the airport. You ain't got a QR code from customs, you ain't getting out. So you have to do it. There's no paper option at all. So of course, I don't know, I would say 50% of the people on the plane knew about it, 50% didn't. So half of the people on the plane they first landed, came off the plane, and we were met with this barrage of signs and QR codes talking about monkeypox and how you have to complete this online health declaration. And if you haven't done it yet, well, scan this code. It will take you online, and then you have to do the monkeypox declaration. So half the people stopped dead in their tracks, and there's all this panic in the air. Because half of those people don't have internet access anyway. Like, nobody's got a working SIM card yet. They're not connected to the internet, so they can scan the code, but without internet access, you can't fill out the form. So now other people who have internet access are giving them mobile hotspot access, and people are doing this, doing that, changing SIM cards. Everybody's there popping out their card, putting in their Indonesian SIM card. A lot of stuff going on. And then a lot of people that were behind the crowd of people doing the monkeypox declaration, they thought there was just a lineup. So even people like me who had already filled out the online health declaration, well, all we saw was that everybody in front of us just stopped and wasn't moving anymore. So we figured, oh, now we have to wait in line. But then we eventually figure out, well, no, they're all just blocking the way as they're trying to fill out the online form. And eventually you got to kind of get through them. And I was very proud of myself that I had done it in advance with Daryl's help. And then I have to do something here. All done. Yeah, I was quite proud of myself that I had filled out the whole monkeypox health declaration in advance. And I had all the documents for this trip carefully organized in a single folder on my smartphone. So as I went through all the stages, I had to open this one folder. Oh, you need my hotel confirmation? There it is. You need my boarding pass? There it is. You need my monkeypox declaration? There it is. You need my visa on arrival, my e-visa? There it is. It was all pulled together into one folder for easy access. So as I was going through the monkeypox area, I called up my health declaration with a QR code, and I want somebody to scan it. It's like, well, I've done it. I'm cleared. Don't you need to scan it and let me through? But after that point where they told you you had to fill it out, there was no point at which you had to present it. So as far as I can tell, anybody could have just walked. They had all these signs everywhere. You must do this, scan this, go to this website, fill this out. If you did all of that, great, you were supposed to. But at the same time, nobody checked. You didn't actually have to go through a gate where this was required. Nobody ever looked at it. You didn't actually have to do anything. So that was kind of funny. And I remember sitting on the airplane, actually, and they have all the announcements, and they do it in multiple languages, right? They do it in all the different languages of all the passengers. And at one point, they were talking, I think, about the health declaration. All arriving passengers must fill out the online health declaration. And to do that, please visit. And then they read out the URL of that website, and it went on forever. I mean, unless you have a eidetic memory, or you got a notepad open in front of you. There's no way you're finding that website based on the URL. It's like, please visit, ido.cm.gov.idl.declaration. It just went on and on and on. It's like nobody's getting that website. So unless you're scanning a QR code to bring you directly to that website, you're not finding it anyway. Or you're just doing Google searches, Indonesia, health declaration, online form, monkeypox, and then you scan the list and you find it, and you go to all that trouble, but then nobody asks to see it anyway. But anyway, everybody did that. And then I walked by an IMEI or EMEI. I keep calling it EMEI, the International Mobile Digital Electronics Identifier. The ID, the serial number that's baked into the hardware and the software of your device. So it's not really the serial number of anything, it's the EMEI or the IMEI. And there's this whole thing in Indonesia where you have to register your electronics with customs to prevent you from bringing cheap, like goods you bought cheaper outside of Indonesia, then you bring it in and sell it to make a profit. They want to stop people doing that. So any electronics you bring into the country, you have to register the identifier number, the EMEI number. And then after a certain number of months, customs blocks that number and it can no longer be used in the country. So that effectively prevents you from selling it. That's the whole point. But there's unbelievable confusion about this topic where everywhere I go, like in the airports, you see the sign and there was the desk with a computer where it says, stop, you must register the EMEI of your electronic devices. But then when you read the fine print there on the sign, and it will say in English, this is only necessary if you are staying in Indonesia for more than 60 days or more than 90 days, whatever it is. If you're in Indonesia for less than 60 days, you don't need to do it. So I took a picture of one of the desks there, and I saw the same sign at the ferry dock in Tanjung Balai. But then I went on, after I passed through, I got a new SIM card, and I got my SIM card on my third phone, because this phone, my main, I don't know what just happened. Something fell. My main Indonesian phone has been blocked by customs forever. This phone, I have 30 days left, according to Indonesian customs. And then this one I've never used in Indonesia, so it's brand new and fresh. So I can get a full 90 days on this one, and then I can extend it for another 90 days later on. So anyway, I'm very nervous about what fell. Let me check the floor. I don't want anything down there broken. There's nothing down there. I don't know what made that sound. I am in the middle of drinking some milk. And I thought my milk carton fell, but it didn't. Anyway, so I wanted to register this phone, my third one, get a new SIM card that's going to last for the full 60 days that I'm going to be here in Indonesia. Because this one, which has a SIM card in it right now, it's going to expire within the next 4 weeks. And it's going to be blocked by customs forever. And then I'm going to be stuck without internet access. So I have 2 SIM cards going. But anyway, even though I went through the airport where all the signs said, if you're in Indonesia for less than 60 days, you don't have to register the EMEI number. You do not need to. But when I went to the counter to get my SIM card, the first thing they did was call up the EMEI number and register it with customs. And then I had to go stand in front of a machine, and then the machine takes your picture, and then you're registered, and it's a whole thing. So even though all the signs say you don't need to do it, like voluntarily, like you don't need to do it, don't do it, not necessary. But whenever you get the SIM card, they do it for you. They just take your phone, call up the EMEI, they register it with customs, and now you're stuck forever and ever after that point. And most people don't seem to run into a problem because they don't stay in Indonesia as long as I have done. So they come in for a month, a 30-day visa or 2-week holiday in Bali, and then they go home. And then when they hear me going on and on and on about email and all the problems, they think I made a mistake or that I'm a lunatic. But no, it's just because I leave Indonesia, then I come back in, and then the phone that I was using on my previous trip has been blocked. So anyway, it's very, very confusing. I don't know what's going on. Oh, I love milk. And this is ultra milk. If regular milk is good, ultra milk must be better, right? Yeah, it's funny staying in a hotel like this, the Zest Hotel, which is sort of an airport transfer hotel. Most of the people staying here just stay overnight because they land and then they're flying out on another flight the next morning. They're in transit, basically. So a lot of people coming and going. So you're way out by the airport, so you're not really in a normal local neighborhood. So I'm in a little bit of an enclave. I've been here for not quite 24 hours, but getting close to 24 hours. And I haven't left the grounds of the hotel because they have the hotel. You get breakfast in the hotel restaurant, and there's an Indo-Maret here in part of the hotel. They have their own Indo-Maret coffee shop. They have little restaurants outside here. So basically you can just stay inside the hotel grounds forever, and you never actually have to go outside into the world of actual Indonesia, which is kind of interesting. But anyway, my mystery benefactor is already on his way with his wife. So my two mystery benefactors, my mystery benefactor and my mystery benefactress, I just saw them off. They got onto the shuttle bus to go out to the airport again after they gave me all of my wonderful gifts. And speaking of a wonderful gift, since I'm having milk, I should have cookie. Since I have a colossal cookie, let's dive into this. I mean, my gosh, what is happening? I have never in my lifetime, I have never seen anything coming close to this colossal cookie. And yeah, I mean, they're amazing people, my benefactor and benefactress, to carry something like this all the way from the beginning of their journey, and to have this in their luggage and then bring it all the way here to present to me. Yeah, that is a commitment to deliver. Oh my gosh, there's 3 of them. Look at that. There's 3 colossal cookies in here. Oh my gosh. Look at the size of that thing. It's a dinner plate. It is seriously a dinner plate. But I'm having milk, so milk and milk. Look at that. It's bigger than my face. It's just absolutely huge. Soft, baked goods. That is amazing. Wow. I am living a good life. Nice breakfast down in the hotel restaurant. And ultra milk and a colossal cookie. And I got a new Ziploc bag. I love Ziplocs. And this is the good one. The really nice closure. So I set aside my colossal cookie, ate like a third of that first one. It's going to be a while to munch my way through that entire set of 3. Yeah, so the next stage of my journey through systems that don't really work was going through customs. And just like the health declaration, customs is online, as I said, and the only way to do it is to do it online. So like, it's not like you don't have a choice. It's not like you can say, oh, I don't want to do the online. Just give me the piece of paper and I'll fill it out. The paper doesn't exist anymore. And unlike the health declaration, they do scan your customs QR code. And if you don't have one, you're not getting out of the airport. So you have to do it. And again, out of the entire airplane, I would say 50% of the people at most knew about this in advance, 50% didn't. So now you're in line to go through customs, and then every second person that tries to exit through customs, they get stopped. Because the guy actually has, they're so used to this by now, he actually has a printout of a QR code to show what a QR code looks like. And then when the person just sort of walks up to them with nothing, the guy can show them, says, no, you need one of these, go back, go over there, sign up. You have to somehow get online and fill out, and you got to come back with one of these. If you ain't got one of these, you're not getting past me. So yeah, so the lineup is total chaos because all these people have all their luggage. We've collected all their bags now, and everybody's struggling in this narrow space. And these people get to the very front, and then every second person, every second group is turned away. Now they have to fight their way back through the line of everybody waiting behind them. So yeah, again, total chaos. But again, I wonder, how can you fix this problem? Okay, you've decided, they always associate this with the green movement, which I think is something they just tack on at the end. It's got nothing to do with saving the environment. But anyway, that's what they say because they're going paperless. No more paper cards to fill out. Everything is online. Everything is digital. That's not the real reason they're doing it. But anyway, they do it, and they have this system. But how do you tell people about the system? That's where it breaks down. I knew about it because I'm a bit of a maniac and I'm constantly doing research, and I learn these things in advance. But if you're just going on a holiday, going on a trip, chances are you're going to get off the plane in Jakarta, and then the first thing you see is, monkeypox health declaration. Oh, I didn't know about that. So now you got to scan the code. You've got to get online on the internet. You got to fill out the form standing there in the airport while you're doing it. And okay, I finished doing that. And then you get to customs, and the guy's like, oh, no, you need to say, oh, I got to do that too. And you get out of line, and now you don't have a SIM card yet. You don't have internet access. But they do have computers there. I don't know how many. It didn't seem like there were enough computers, but they had a couple of workstations there where if you can't do it yourself on your phone, you can sit down or stand at the computer and fill out the form. But then, yeah, so you got to do that. And then once you have your QR code, and I was very happy that I had it. I went to my special folder, called up my customs QR code. And then as you walk past, there's just one guy sitting on a chair with one of these scanners, and he goes, beep, go, beep. Okay, no, turn around. No, okay, go back. Beep. And then out you go. Though I was funneled into the check this dude line. There was two lines. You could go this way, like I have nothing to declare, and they let you go. And then there's another line where, okay, here they have questions for you, and they're going to x-ray your luggage. And he looked me up and down and went, don't trust you. You go get checked. And then they just x-rayed my bags, and there's nothing in my bags that's illegal, and I'm a very law-abiding person here on Planet Doug. So yeah, went through that, no problem. But then the real adventures began, because I mentioned my goal was to get a SIM card for this phone, and as far as I was aware, I wouldn't have any trouble with it because it's never been registered in Indonesia. When I talked about this topic before, in the comments to my videos, a lot of comments were telling me ways to fix this problem, and one way is to just buy a local phone. Everybody kept telling me, just get an eSIM. That'll fix all your problems. Or just buy a local phone, a cheap local phone in Indonesia. And that one obviously doesn't have to be registered with customs. But these obvious solutions don't work for me because A, none of my phones can take eSIMs, and even if they can, The SIM card isn't the problem. That's what I keep telling people, but nobody ever seems to figure this out. I keep saying it over and over again, but nobody ever seems to understand what I'm saying. The SIM card is not the problem. It's the phone. The physical phone gets blocked. So getting an eSIM, the eSIM still has to be installed in a phone, not physically, but digitally. But then the phone has to be registered with customs via the email, whether you have an eSIM or not. So anyway, it doesn't really get you anywhere. And then buying a local phone is one long-term option, but at the same time, when you need internet access is usually like the second you arrive, right? That's why you get your SIM card at the airport, because as soon as you're there, okay, I got to get to my hotel. Where is my hotel? I got to contact the hotel. I need transportation. You need to do this. You got to download the app. You got to do this. You got to do that. And you want to do all of this right from the airport. You want to land and have internet access. You want to summon a Grab to take you to your hotel. Anything you want to do, you need internet access. You show up at the hotel. Oh, where's your reservation? They'll say, oh, I don't have a SIM card yet because you want to do this. Well, what's your phone number? Well, I don't have a phone number yet. So, I mean, you want to get your SIM card at the airport immediately. That's the most convenient thing. So, and then if you buy a local phone, well, now, okay, day one, you have no internet access. Then the next day, you spend the entire day of your holiday roaming around shops, picking out the best phone for the best price. You got to buy a local phone, all the time wasted, all the expense. And then it's a phone you can only use during your one holiday. So I don't see that as a reasonable solution. But that is the solution most people give me. But luckily, eSIM, local phone, I didn't have to do either one because, as I said, I have 3 phones at the moment. I've got my main phone, my video editing phone, and then this is my media phone. I use this one for listening to podcasts, setting bedside alarms, anything like that. And I just happen to keep this phone because it's my old one, my older, least powerful phone. So I just kept it rather than throwing it away or selling it or something. So anyway, I had one more phone. I could get a SIM card. And when I came out of customs, out of immigration, I was a little bit surprised because a friend of mine recently went through Jakarta and I was asking him questions about the airport, like what is it like? Is it a modern, fancy airport or is it an older building? And he showed me video clips of him walking through the whole airport. And it looked amazing. It looked brand new, posh, like the airports in Singapore or any of the modern airports you see all over Southeast Asia. It looked amazing. But I don't know where he was. Different terminal? Different country? I don't know. Because when I came out of customs, my airport, my terminal was an old building with nothing. I mean, there was nothing there. It was a small area with a bunch of chairs. And I wanted to get into the bathroom, of course, but there were no bathrooms in there. There was not a single bathroom. There was nothing at all. I was expecting a modern, spacious airport with all kinds of shops and things like that. And that is there, but it's not in the terminal building where I emerged. And at that time, I thought that was the whole airport. I thought, oh, this is the Jakarta airport. And it was like, man, this thing looks 100 years old. I could hear construction going on all over the place. It's being renovated and brought up to date, but it's a very old building, very small, very cramped, and there's nothing there. And I was expecting the modern place with all kinds of SIM card operations everywhere. But when I came out of customs, I only saw one desk, and everybody there was dressed in Telkomsel uniforms. And there was a big sign that said Telkomsel, Telkomsel, Telkomsel. So I thought it was an official Telkomsel outlet, like a Grapari kind of shop. So I thought, oh, and the guy was like waving a sign, saying tourist sim, Telkomsel. And then I looked at him and I went, yeah, absolutely. I need one of those. So you're my guy. Let's do this. So I went up there, and it turns out that they were more of a third-party company. I don't know. It was a little bit weird. I thought it was a little bit dodgy, to be honest, because I did ask the guy, because I kind of got not suspicious, but I didn't understand the place. And I said, oh, like, are you guys actually part of Telkomsel? And then he kind of hemmed and hawed and hedged his answer, I think. They were giving the impression that they were an official Telkomsel outlet, because I wanted to buy my SIM card directly from Telkomsel. But then when they handed me the sheet with all of your data packages, how much, 10 gigabytes, 15, 25, etc., I turned it over, and on the other side, it had all the other providers, 3 and all the other companies. I can't think of their names right now. So they sold SIM cards for all of them, Telkomsel, and you could buy a SIM card for any one of those companies. So they're actually more like a private company. They don't actually work for Telkomsel, but they gave the impression that they did. So I do have the feeling that their prices are higher than normal. But again, at the time, I needed a SIM card. I wanted it at the airport because I needed to book train tickets right away, because I'm going to be flying to Medan tomorrow, and I still hadn't booked my train out of the airport, and I can only do that using apps. You cannot buy a ticket when you get there because they don't accept money. You have to have a digital eWallet, and you have to buy the ticket in advance online. So you got to do all this in advance. And in order to do that, I need a SIM card right away. So I wanted to get this done right away. And so I just picked a package. It was, I got the cheapest one, which was like 15 gigabytes for 350,000 rupiah. And that includes the SIM card. And that seems a lot more expensive than what I paid in Tanjung Balai when I went to the Telkomsel Grapari office, and I think I got a SIM card for 10,000 rupiah, which is very, very little money. And then I got, I think, a lot of gigabytes for a lot less money. So I think I got paid a lot more here at the Jakarta airport. But again, I didn't really mind that much. We're not talking about a huge amount of money. And then the guy was extremely helpful, extremely friendly. And I had so many negative experiences in KL with my personality, where I would go out shopping, whether to buy electronics or whatever it is I'm buying, even food or drinks or anything. I always want to chat with people. I want to have a little small talk with the person selling me stuff. And the sellers in Malaysia were generally like, why are you talking to me? I'm not your friend. I'm running the cash register here. So, don't bother me. But here in Indonesia, it's really quite different. So this guy was quite chatty, and I took advantage of that. And so we're talking about all kinds of things while he's doing the SIM card setup. And we're talking about my previous trips in Sumatra, in Malaysia, and my YouTube channel, why I'm here in Jakarta, and then I'm flying to Medan. And he's actually from Sumatra. And he was trying to explain to me where his home is, where his home city was located. And so we had a nice long chat. And then I got the SIM card installed. And then because we were now good friends, I said, could you help me downloading the app? Which I can do on my own, but I didn't know maybe there was something special that he could do it easier. So he said, yeah, I can do that for you. And then he downloaded the Telkomsel app from the Google Play Store, and then registered my phone number with the app and got all that set up. And then the amount of data that I bought showed up on the app. And now if I ever run out of data, I know how to do this. I've done it before. You can use the app. You just buy what they call pulsa, which is the credit you put onto the phone. So you just get 100,000 rupiah pulsa, add it to your account, and then you can buy data packages. It's all very simple and straightforward. So I got that all set up. But then the difficult things started because, and this is gonna be really complicated. I'll try not to get too lost in the weeds. But the last time I was in Indonesia, I had a SIM card on this phone, and therefore I downloaded all my apps. I got an OVO eWallet, and I got the train station app downloaded to this, but both of them are on a phone that is blocked by customs, and the SIM card is expired. I can't use it anymore. So there was no way for me to transfer my accounts, my OVO account and my train station account from this phone to this phone. And I didn't want to use this phone because I still had my Malaysia SIM card installed on this one, and I was running the Relive app. And if I change the SIM card, it cuts off the app. And then I won't end up finishing the trip. I'll lose everything that all the pictures I took and the whole tracking my journey on Relive. So I wanted to keep this running. Plus, even if I do change the SIM card to my Indonesian SIM, all my apps are still stuck on this phone anyway. So there's no way to transfer them over. So anyway, I just figured I'll start with this phone. And then I tried to open up a new OVO eWallet. Well, at first I did the train station app called Access by KIA for some reason. That's what the app is called. But I kept running into error messages over and over and over and over again, and everything was in Indonesian. With this app, once you open an account, you can change the language to English. But as you're installing it and going through the setup process, it's only in Indonesian. So I'm standing there in the middle of this airport, crowded, people roaming around, there's not a lot of room, and I'm trying to do something on this phone, but I have my other phone. I have Google Translate on this phone, and I'm having to read everything using the Google Translate camera. It's like, okay, I read that line. Okay, which line is that one again? And I get it translated into English, then I look, and I'm going through it step by step by step. And every time I got an error message, where I got this like red line at the top, and it just flashed really quickly, and it was in Indonesian. So even if I did it and I tried to read it, it's not in English. So I was stuck, and I got to stages where they had to send me a SMS, a text message, with a security code, and then it kept saying, we can't send you a security code. That number is not valid. And it was the brand new SIM card, the brand new phone number. And it kept saying, we can't send a security code to that number. It's an invalid number. So I was like, oh, and I was going around and around and around and around, trying to do, I had three phones going, and I'm doing Google Translate, and no, that didn't work. Try it again, try it again, try it again. And eventually I went back to Telkomsel, or the SIM card counter, because the guy had been so friendly, and he was the one who sold me the SIM card with the phone number, and the phone number wasn't working. So I thought, well, it's not his job to help me set up an e-wallet or to set up a train station ticketing app. But we became friendly, and he had sold me the phone number, so I thought, it's reasonable to ask him. So I went back there and I told him what I'm trying to do, but I get an error message each time telling me that the phone number cannot receive the security codes. So can you figure this out? Can you help me out? And I ended up working with this guy, I swear this is true, for an hour and a half. I stood at his counter for an hour and a half working with this guy, and he originally helped me set up another e-wallet by Dana, because I asked him, like, what e-wallet do you use? What do all Indonesians use? What is the most useful e-wallet to get? And then he said, Dana or Dana. And I said, oh, okay, can you help me set it up? So he helped me download it, and I opened up an e-wallet with Dana. But then, much later, when I finally, with his help, I managed to install the train station app. Then I booked a train ticket, and then I went to pay for it using Dana. It's not listed. The train station app doesn't accept Dana. It only accepts OVO, which is the one I had before. And I remembered I downloaded OVO for precisely that reason the last time I was in Indonesia. And I totally forgot about that. So then, this guy recommended Dana, like all the people at that counter. Oh yeah, Dana, that's the one you want, that's the one you want. So that's the one I got, but it turned out I wasn't able to use it. So then we had to start all over again and try to get my OVO e-wallet transferred from this phone to that phone, and it wouldn't work. It just would not work, would not work, would not work. And then eventually I just had to open up a brand new OVO account using a new email address, and then hour and a half of working just to buy the airport train ticket. And it was exhausting, and I finally got it done. But then my life continued, because now I had to get to the hotel. And up until that point, I felt like it would be easy because I had been working with my mystery benefactors. They booked this hotel for me, and they paid for it for 2 nights for me. Very, very kind of them. I wouldn't normally end up staying in as nice a place as this is, but they booked it for me. And then they sent me a lot of information about how, well, this is a great hotel because they have a shuttle service. Every hour, there's a shuttle bus back and forth, airport to hotel. So all you have to do, and they sent me links to the map, you go here and wait for the shuttle bus. But then as I was leaving the airport, I had all these like airport security people, concierge, taxi drivers, all these people. So I go, oh, sir, can we help you? What do you need? And I said, no, I don't need a taxi. I'm just using the shuttle bus to go to the Zest Hotel. And everybody told me the same thing. They said, oh, they don't come automatically. You have to call them. You have to phone them, tell them you're here, and then they will come get you. And I thought, oh, for Pete's sake, like, how do I do that? Like, like Zest is a chain hotel. I can get their phone number from the internet, but maybe I'm calling corporate headquarters or something. I don't know. So now I'm stuck because the data package I bought doesn't include phone data. It's only internet data. I can't make phone calls. So I'm like, oh, now how do I do this? So this goes on and on and on. This is my life. I went back to my friend now at the Telkomsel counter, the one who'd helped me for an hour and a half. And I said, like, can you make a phone call for me? I have to call the hotel, tell them to come pick me up. But I don't know. I mean, I'm a dummy. I don't know how to make a phone call. And I can't make a phone call. And if I do, they're not going to speak English probably. And I don't know where I am. I don't know how to tell them what to do. At that point, I didn't even know what terminal I was in. Turned out it was Terminal 3, but I didn't know that at the time. And then he did. He made a phone call. And then he was talking with them on the phone. And then he turned to me and said, oh, do you have WhatsApp? Do you have WhatsApp? And I says, yeah, I got WhatsApp. But WhatsApp, it's not on this phone. I just got a SIM card phone number, but WhatsApp is not on this phone. It's on this phone, and it's on this phone. But I can't use this one, but this one doesn't have an Indonesian SIM card. I have no internet access on this phone. So now I'm like, well, in the heat of the moment, I turn on hotspot on this phone, connect this phone to this phone, and now I can use WhatsApp on this phone. And I hand it to him and say, yeah, I've got WhatsApp here. And he takes my phone, and then he's typing all kinds of stuff. And it turns out what he did was he added Zest Hotel as a contact on my WhatsApp account. And then I got a message from them, and it said, Zest, good afternoon, Zest Hotel. This is a business account, and this is contact our driver. And it just says here, there's a photograph of a van, and my driver is so-and-so. And then my helper at Telkomsel says, okay, they're going to come get you. So all you have to do is wait here. And I was like, wait here? He says, yeah. I told them you are at the SIM card Telkomsel counter. The driver will come to the airport. He will come in. He will get you here and then take you out to the van. I'm like, oh, that's amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So now I'm there. I wait at the counter. I'm just standing there. But now that I had my train station app and my OVO eWallet, I went to Indomaret, put 100,000 rupiah onto my eWallet. Now that I had money on my eWallet, I went back to Telkomsel, and I'm just standing there waiting for the driver. And while I'm waiting, I'm busy booking train tickets. And it was successful. I was able to do it and pay for it using my Indonesian eWallet and the app from the train system. So I was there for over an hour, waiting and waiting and waiting. And then the guy at the teleconsole said, yeah, it'll take about an hour for them to get here, so you just have to wait. And then I'm waiting for more than an hour, and I finally turned to the guy. He's like, do you think they're coming? I mean, what's going on? He says, well, maybe you better send them a message. So I thought, yeah, okay, maybe I better. So I send these people at Zest a message and say, basically, yeah, I'm here, Terminal 3, where I'm supposed to be, and I'm waiting for the driver, but like, is the driver on the way? What's going on? And then I get a message from them saying, no, you have to contact the driver. Like, in their WhatsApp message, they weren't just telling me that's the name of my driver. My driver has a separate WhatsApp account. And now I was supposed to click on his name, open up a new WhatsApp contact, send a message to this driver, tell him I'm here, but they're not going to come into the airport. You have to go outside the airport. So I'm like, oh, for Pete's sake. So I've been waiting here for like 2.5, 3 hours now, and I'm still at the airport. So my whole plan was to like check in at 2 o'clock and enjoy this room. But hours and hours and hours later, I'm still at the airport, just setting up a SIM card, and I still haven't figured out how to get to the hotel. And that was supposed to be the easy part. But now I sent a message to the driver, and then the driver contacted me, and he said, yeah, now I got all the instructions. Now that I had sent a message to the driver, he replied with this long, detailed post about all the things you need to do. This is how the shuttle service works. It goes to this terminal, then that terminal, pickup times, where you go to get picked up. Please inform us via the WhatsApp app when you are at the designated pickup point. All the information is here. But how in the world am I supposed to have access to any of that information? The only reason I had this information was because I manually asked a local person to call the hotel, who sent me the phone number to the driver. I added him to my WhatsApp contacts. I contacted the driver, and now he gave me all the instructions. I was just like, how does this make any sense at all? I'm like, it must be me. Maybe I don't understand it. But anyway, now he asked me, may I have your name and how many people are in your party? And then he told me, our meeting point is here, 2E, in front of Kalayang Station parking area. And I'm like, well, all right, well, where the heck is that, right? Because this airport doesn't have any signs. That's the key point here. Everything in Indonesia works via WhatsApp. You do everything individually through WhatsApp messages. So they don't need to put up any signs. So I was expecting to go out, my helper, he said, no, you just go out the front door, turn right. Out the front door, turn right, and there is the shuttle bus pickup area for the hotels. So I went out, turned right, and I'm looking for the signs. I'm looking for a sign that says shuttle bus pickup area, and then a list of hotels. Like if you're going to Zest Hotel here, if you're going to the Sheraton Hotel here. I was looking for signs, and there are no signs anywhere about pickup, about shuttle bus, about different hotels. But it turns out that the designated pickup areas weren't even there. He told me go outside, turn right. But no, what I had to do was turn right, then cross a busy road, go through another building, and on the other side of the building was a big parking lot, and beside that parking lot, that's where you get picked up. And then he sent me a photograph, and he sent me this picture and said, that is the pickup area right there. There are no signs anywhere. There are no signs that says hotel pickup, Zest Hotel pickup area, nothing like that at all. So now I went out the airport, I crossed the busy road, I went through the other building, I'm at the parking lot, and now I'm walking around like this, like I'm some sort of a sleuth. I'm comparing this picture with what I see around me. It's like, okay, does that look familiar? No, this one has 2 pillars, and that one has just 1 pillar. Okay, maybe it's over here. No, that doesn't match. I'm like matching this picture to reality, and I'm walking all around the airport, just kind of looking and looking and looking, till I finally went, oh, there it is. I was looking at it in real life, and here was the photo. Like, okay, I'm in the right spot now. But even though I was in the right spot, no signs. Not a single sign about hotel pickup, shuttle bus waiting area, nothing at all. The only information I had was this photo sent by the driver, and I had to manually wander around the world until I found something that matched that photo. So I don't know, I didn't understand that system at all. And it got even more confusing because this is a Zest Hotel, but they're partnered or owned by the, what is it called? Swiss Bell Hotel? What's the name of it? Swiss Bell Hotel. So it's Zest/Swiss Bell Hotel. And this is the van I'm looking for. It says that on the sign. And while I'm standing there waiting, all these vans are going by me. Like the first one went by, Zest Bell Hotel. And I'm like, oh, there goes my, and they just went right by me. And I'm like, like I'm standing in the right place. I even sent the guy a picture. Like he sent me the picture of that location. I took a picture of myself at that location to show him what I look like. I'm a dumb white dude wearing this blue shirt, and I'm standing right in front of the door that I see in your picture. So this is me, and this is where I am. So I sent him that, but even though I did that, when the driver showed up in the van, just drove right past me, like never stopped. And I'm like, hey, wait, please. I've been trapped at this airport for hours. Please come back. And I sent him a message instantly. I said something like, whoops, did you just drive past me? I saw a Swiss Bell Hotel van, but it didn't stop. Was that you? And then he sent back a message, says, no, I'm still dropping guests off at departure. I'm not there yet. So it turns out that this hotel has many different vans for the different hotels in the different locations. So while I was waiting there for my van, 4 of them went by. And each one, I thought, that's mine. I go running out into the road. No, stop, please. And then just go zoom, zoom. And I'm thinking, are any of these vans going to stop? But it does have the license plate number in the picture. So eventually, I started looking at the license plate numbers, and then one of these vans showed up, and the license plate number matched. And finally, it was my guy. And then the drive to get here was so funny. One thing is I'm in the van. I've got my SIM card. I've got all this figured out. Got my eWallet. I'd been in the airport for what felt like a lifetime. I can't find a bathroom anywhere. There was no bathroom in the terminal building at all. And then finally, this guy shows up. I'm in the van. We're leaving the airport. And as we're leaving the airport, going down the main highway, at the side of the highway, I saw basically a mirror image of me. It was a tall, white dude walking down the highway. And normally that would be me. All this transportation stuff, I would just give up. I'm like, this is too much of a hassle. And like when I looked at the location of the hotel, I think if you walk in a straight line, it's about 4 kilometers away. And on Google Maps, it actually looks really close. So I was looking at that thinking, if I'd been walking, I would have been there hours ago. I mean, it would have been faster for me to walk there than to wait for the shuttle van. And this white dude, this other foreigner, there he was, just like me, walking down the highway. He had a roller suitcase, He didn't even have a backpack. And he's got, all this heavy traffic roaring past him. People in Malaysia make fun of me all the time with my older videos because I'd be walking around KL all the time. And I'd end up walking down the side of a highway where nobody is supposed to be walking just because, well, how else are you supposed to get anywhere? And then, so I saw this foreigner. I thought, he's got the right idea. I should have just started walking. I would have been at the hotel ages ago. And then I'm in the shuttle van, And I could see where we started from. I could see the hotel in a straight line. But because of the road system, this van had to go follow the craziest route. You leave the airport, hotel's over here, but instead of turning right, he turned left and went way off in this direction, went until he finally got to a roundabout, had to do a U-turn at the roundabout, come all the way back, past where we just were, all the way back this way, past the hotel, way past the hotel. Then he does another U-turn, turns around, like he does this huge clover leaf figure with 2 U-turns, one at each end, and then he finally turned right, and then we ended up at the Zest Hotel at long last. That was so funny. It was like, it's just one of those things that, like the first time you do anything, it's so complicated trying to figure all these things out. I mean, if I flew into Jakarta again to go to the Zest Hotel, you know, I would figure it out. Oh, you have to contact the driver on WhatsApp. You have to tell him this is where you go. You tell him where you are. Like there's nothing. And the way the system works is that the shuttle van leaves from this hotel at 5 minutes after the hour, all day long, 24 hours a day. There's a scheduled shuttle van that leaves at 10:05, 11:05, 12:05, 1:05, etc. So in all the instructions, they say there is a shuttle van leaving the airport every hour. So every hour, there's a van. So me and my mystery benefactor, who also has never done this before, he never found the shuttle bus. He arrived late last night, just like me, and then he went looking for the shuttle bus, couldn't find it, just like me, and then he just hopped in a taxi. He gave up. I stuck with it for all the hours it took to figure it out. But yeah, he was smarter than me. He just hopped in a taxi. But he couldn't find it either, and he was thinking, just as I was thinking, when you read all the information online on the internet, it says there is a shuttle van leaving every hour. We have one every hour. What they don't tell you, it's not leaving from the airport on the hour. It's leaving from the hotel on the hour. So when it leaves from the hotel, first it drops people off at all the various terminals for departures. Then, if you've contacted them in advance, then they'll swing around again and pick people up to take them back to the hotel. In my mind, I thought all they needed to do was exit the airport, look for the sign that says hotel shuttle bus, wait there, and then on the hour, the shuttle bus will show up, you get in and you go. That's what I thought. That's what my mystery benefactor thought, but no. What they really mean is the van leaves at 11:05, like 5 after the hour from the hotel, and then maybe eventually it might come to where you are, but you have to tell us you're there. You have to contact the driver. It's like, I was so exhausted by that. I started the morning with such high hopes. I was in such a great mood. KY picked me up at my hotel in Kuala Lumpur, drove straight to the airport, sailed through everything, got on the flight. Everything was beautiful. Everything was wonderful. And then in Jakarta, things sort of fell apart after that after that point. But all's well that ends well. And I didn't get as many hours here in this hotel as I'd hoped in my hotel room to enjoy the amenities. But yeah, the first thing I did, took a shower, unpacked. I had water in the room, had my own kettle. Yeah, the room didn't come with a kettle, oddly enough. Seems like it's the kind of room that they would provide a kettle, but they didn't. But I have my own, and then there's water available out in the hallway. So I got some drinking water, boiled water for coffee, and I settled into my room for the evening and took many, many, many showers in this amazing bathroom. It's so great. Yeah, so that was the trip to get here. And last night, and then, my mystery benefactors, they showed up something like 2 in the morning. Took them a long time to get from the airport to here. They arrived quite late. and I'm often awake during the night. So I sent them a message, and we arranged what time to meet for breakfast, and then I went up to their room with them, and they presented me with all of these amazing gifts, including my colossal cookie. Another bite. And had one more carton of Ultra Milk. Yeah, had a nice chat with my mystery benefactors, and all I can do is hope that I'm worthy of this much generosity. Particularly, well, everything. These glasses are just amazing. Wow. Like I said, now I can see my GoPro. I can read the screen from here. I can read the milk. I can look at Google Maps. Yeah, I look down, it's in focus. I look up, it's in focus. I look over there, it's in focus. 3 different distances. It's perfectly natural. I was a little bit worried that the 3 different sections of the lens would have that really old man quality to it, where you're looking down your reading glasses, and I thought I'd be doing this all the time, like oh, like okay, no, and, looking over the glasses, really trying to do things like that. But it's really, they've worked out the technology. It's perfectly natural. I can read this. I can see that. I can see that. I don't have to do anything. They've figured it out with your eye movement, as long as you get the proper strengths for each third of your lenses. Yeah, looks good down here. Looks good up there. Looks good over there. I don't have to do this or do this or anything, It just works out naturally. That's very cool. And the sandals are amazing. I already wore them walking around a lot. And the laptop, it's kind of the wild card still. I'm talking myself into this idea that the extra weight of this type of laptop is worth the benefits. So that may be an ongoing discussion. Every time I put it in my knapsack along with all my camera gear, I might be going, oh man, ooh, I wish that was like 2 pounds heavier or something. But maybe over time, it will just start to feel natural, feel normal. And the extra weight, as I was talking about earlier, and my mystery benefactors just left for the airport, and I went down to see them off, and we were talking about all this. He's quite concerned about the things that they got me being appropriate. So he asked me, for example, what about the power cord? Because it comes from the United States, so it has a North American plug. And he was worried that since I'm in Asia, maybe I want a different type of plug. So maybe, can I plug it in here? But I could reassure him on that point, because I prefer the North American plug. I don't like the huge UK style plug that they use in Malaysia. If you bought a laptop in Malaysia, you get that giant UK thing. I hate those. So I prefer the American style plug. That's what I grew up with. That's what I'm accustomed to. And my power bar has the 3-prong American style, the 2 flat pins and then 1 rounded grounding pin. That's what I have. So the cord for this laptop plugs right in. Here in Indonesia as well, even the wall sockets, this North American 3-pronger goes right in. But it doesn't really matter, because I've got adapters. I've got all the adapters that are necessary. So he did send me a message and say, oh, what about the cord? Is the cord okay? And I sent him a bunch of pictures of me plugging it in all the different places. Yeah, it's perfect. And it's long. Oh, that is such a relief. Seems like a small thing, but it's amazing how big a difference small things make. So the actual brick, the power brick, has a cord, and it is 5 feet long. And then the other section of cord that goes to the laptop is 6 feet long. So from end to end, it's 11 feet of electrical cord. So yeah, that's amazing, because you're in so many of these hotel rooms you're in. the electrical outlet can be way on the other side of the room, and then you're sitting here on the bed or at the desk, but the outlet is far away, and that becomes a huge hassle. But now this one has an 11-foot electrical cord, like over 3 meters, right? Yeah, almost 4 meters, 3 to 4 meters in there. So it's very long, so that's very nice. And I was talking to my mystery benefactors, as I said. I went down to see them off, to say goodbye when they got on the shuttle bus to the airport. And we were talking about the laptop, and we were talking about how heavy it is. And, maybe there might have been a better choice out there. I chose this laptop. I picked this one out in particular. So if it turns out to be too heavy, it's on me. I was the one who picked it out. So, yeah, based on the numbers I saw, it seemed reasonable. In real life now, it just seems like, ooh, yeah, it's a little bit heavier than I thought. But as I was talking to him, I was talking about how, well, in my backpack as a whole, there are things in there I hardly ever use that add many pounds to my backpack. So if I want to make room for like 2 extra pounds of laptop, well, I can take this thing out of my backpack and leave it behind. So in terms of the overall weight of my backpack, I can easily make an adjustment to make room for a bit of extra weight. And if you ask me, like, what's more important, like a laptop that is 2 pounds heavier than an Ultrabook, or this, I don't know, some stupid GoPro mounting rig that I hardly ever use. I only use it for special occasions. Oh, I'll take that GoPro rig, which weighs 2 pounds, and I'll get rid of it because the laptop is far more valuable to me than a lot of the other stuff that I carry around, So anyway, I think I'm hoping, fingers crossed, and I'm starting to believe that it's going to be an amazing addition to my life. Yeah, I have it plugged in right now, charging. You have to charge it up for 3 hours, they said, before you run it, stuff like that. So I'm charging the battery up before I sit down and log on and get it all set up. So I've been talking for a long time, so I think I will wind up this podcast episode here. I think those are all of the main stories that I wanted to tell. And as always, I hope you enjoyed that a little bit. And as always, thank you for keeping me company, shooting video this time instead of doing audio only. We'll see how that feels. If it turns out to be too much work, to be honest, I can just extract the audio from this video and just post it as an audio file too. I could still do that if I wanted to, but we'll see how that all works out. All right, so from the Zest Hotel in Jakarta, just outside the airport, one more afternoon, evening, and night here, and then I fly to Medan tomorrow. 2 nights in Medan at this point. I booked a hotel there for 2 nights because I wanted more time to get up and running with this laptop. I needed some leisure time to do that. And then I'll take a train to Tanjung Balai and be reunited with my bicycle. So that's it. Thank you for hanging out with me. And as always, I'll see you in the next video.